Hey, what's going on, everyone? Thank you.
Hey.
And this is another episode of the original Brad Chandler Show. With me today, I've got Aaron Freeman of She Walks Without Legs. I've known Aaron on a personal level for about 6 years, and
Yeah.
I've seen you play with another band called Pullout Method
Yeah.
out of Middletown. We hung out, and
A
neither
whole
one of us
lifetime
actually
ago.
knew that. Uh,
Yeah.
until like we started talking about until I re-entered the scene in like 2015. So what other bands have you been in?
Couple bands, a whole lot of projects. Um, let's see. I started out doing karaoke, and well,
Right
even
on.
before that, I was writing just random stuff. I like to write a lot of poetry when I was a kid and stuff. A lot of things got thrown out because you know how your parents get, and they're trying to protect you, quote unquote, about things, and a lot of stuff got thrown out. But I don't even know why I said that. Anyway, moving on.
Let's get real deep
A
into
lot of
this.
gold got thrown out, man. No, we. I've been writing for a long time, and I started just singing at karaoke clubs at 17, getting kicked out on the regular, getting pitchers bought for me just because it was entertaining. Got in a lot of bar fights at a young age. It was fun. But then I Keith Pearson a long time ago shot me a message on it was either MySpace or just my personal phone, and he's like, he's like, yeah, he's like, give this guy Dave a call, leave him a message, and say you're interested in playing, because I guess Pullout Method, before they were Pullout Method, were known as a band called Tube Steak, which was like
The same thing. Same.
no, it wasn't the same thing at all. They were like, they had a whole brass section, and like they were like a gay version of Guar. Like Guar is gay to begin with, but like they like really pushed the envelope with it. Going as far as like for like theatrics, like they had this midget or smaller person, Timmy, that wore a diaper on stage that was full of like cake mix, and he would like
To make it look
reach
like
in
he
and
shit
throw
himself.
it at the crowd.
To be,
You know, there's fun stuff. And that was I guess I was never part of those times with them, but like afterwards with Pull-Out Method, I got the call from Dave Landon. He's like, yeah, come on down. Keith says that you're interested in doing vocals. So I went down there, and they played a couple songs for me, and instantly I started writing to him. And Dave's like, I never saw anybody like just sit down and just write to something like that. And because I was doing that a lot to a lot of things, just to write in general. At Pull-Out Method, we got pretty far. We were playing the Webster main stage a lot. We got the best hardcore metal act in the Hartford Advocate. I believe it was 2006, I think. Yeah. Want to say like Ben Wu disappearing, like that really kicked the whole scene in the ass, because I mean he hooked us and a lot of other bands up with some really good shows. Got to play with Guar, got to play with Mindless Self-Indulgence, before Life Ruiner was a thing. Like we played with them and Parkway Drive at the Webster. It was just insane shows, like really cool. I played with Live. Lightning crashes, like it was a sold out show. It was fun.
Yeah, the Webster Theater actually kind of it went to shit after the whole Ben Wu situation.
After Ben, when Jeff ran things were okay, and even with what's his name, it was in between him and John True, and then I think what's his name, big guy, was Scott was running. Scott.
I remember
he booked shows at the Webster and the Palladium. They like kind of
Okay.
coincided
Yeah.
with each
I
other.
really only remembered Ben and Jeff. I only actually worked with Jeff when I was in bands. So, I mean, that whole situation sucks. So you've had like kind of a, you didn't have a lot of bands. You do projects. Go ahead and let the people know what type of projects you're doing.
It's all different stuff. It's trying.
It's industrial type stuff from what I hear, right?
Well, a lot of it's different, like Erroneous. That's kind of my own personal stuff, not really working with anybody, just kind of writing everything. Dan Gilman and myself made a couple projects like over the past couple of years while I was still living in East Hampton. You know, we recorded a couple songs over there. Actually an entire album over there of this project called Acquaintance. And you can get that on there's links to it. Echopod Media. There's Acquaintance, Erroneous, Grimshot, which was pretty much like the leftover tracks from Acquaintance are on there. It's all different stuff. It's like a blend of rock meets goth meets there's some hip hop there. Just trying to do different stuff than what I've been doing, you know.
Yeah, you got to keep an open mind when it comes to music. And like, if I would be talking to my 16-year-old or 17-year-old self right now and saying, "Oh, you got to listen to," no, that's what I was talking about before. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, no, I'm not worried. I'm not worried.
But like, if I was talking to my 16-year-old self before, I would be like, my 16-year-old self would be like, "Dude, fuck you. I don't listen to anything but metal." You know, like I'm not listening to fucking rap. I'm not listening to hip hop. I'm not listening to R&B. Dude, I listen to probably more of stuff that I don't play when I was playing than I did of stuff that I do play, because it's like you don't want to play the exact same thing as somebody else. You need inspiration and shit from like all sorts of, like, people get surprised when I tell them like I love Frank Sinatra. One of my all-time, one of my guilty pleasures right now is Kesha. I've had a thing for listening to Kesha for a while, and my girlfriend Ashley thinks that it's absolutely ridiculous. It'll come on the radio, and I'll just be like, I'll blast that shit, you know.
Sure.
I'm like DINOSA, you know, shit like that.
Yeah.
So we got some
keeping it moving. I guess with what I was saying before, pull-out method got me more familiar with how scenes work and how to actually, like, you book shows, how to get in on shows, the proper way of communicating.
Damn, dude. Yeah, that shit kicked me in the ass when I started, when Pat and I were in Kill Your Demons, because Pat, you know, nothing against Pat, but like the guys in Kill Your Demons, they didn't really give a shit about the promoting part. And I was just like, I did the MySpace. I did the calling the people up to find out about recording. I called and contacted the Webster. I contacted the bars and all these other promoters and shit. And I didn't realize that it was going to be so strenuous, actually.
Yeah.
It's like the best way to. Yeah, it is. So, moving on here, you know, I've been basically a brother to your significant other, Amber. And
yes, Uncle Brad.
You two ended up meeting, and you guys had a family. And like, how's that going right now? You know, quarantine and everything going. How is everything going?
It's actually a blessing, because with everything happening, us like having to get ourselves in a bubble, so to speak, and kind of stay away from things. Like, I miss everyone. You know, we miss everyone, and because going to shows and music and like performing live is like my therapy. Like that's my medicine, how I stay sane. And having that whole thing like just pretty much get ripped away from you. My kids have been like my replacement on that, so to speak, and like, just still trying to keep contact with, my oldest and everything. 'Cause, COVID,
Right.
then we've been, talking over the phone and stuff like that. It's not the same, miss her to pieces.
Yeah, that sucks, man. Sorry to hear about that.
Yeah, it's okay.
Um,
We're gonna get through this stupid curse spell, whatever you want to call it, and we're gonna be laughing about this in a year or two.
Hopefully.
Hopefully,
I'm hoping the shit's fucking gonna be gone. Not gone, but like we're gonna be able to like get shows, sports venues and shit like that by the summertime.
Move forward, instead
Yeah.
of feeling this stagnant bullshit in the air and in life with friends and being able to hang out with people.
My whole thing is like, seriously, dude, this is what I do. I wake up, I work, I come home, I go to sleep. Like I'll do my podcasting stuff and whatnot, and I'll talk to some people over like baseball, which is something else, another thing I do. But I've just been trying to keep myself preoccupied. And
did you end up buying yourself a PS4?
Yeah, so like right before before when they said they were like, oh, we're gonna shut down the state, I seriously thought that we were just gonna like shut down the fucking state. Nobody's gonna be able to get out of their apartments. Nobody's gonna go anywhere. Like that's what everybody thought. Like you went to the grocery stores at those times, fucking every meat was gone, every vegetables were gone, all
barren.
The toilet paper was gone, paper towels were gone. Shit, still now the paper towels are gone. So I was like, dude, if I'm going to be stuck in my fucking apartment for the next however long, I'm buying myself something to keep me occupied. Yes, I have my girlfriend, and that's awesome and everything. But like, I'm a baseball fan, and I live off of baseball. So I was like, fuck it. I went and bought a PS4 and a couple games. And then I found out, I was like, my work was like, no, we're not shutting down. And I was like, okay, I just spent like $450 for nothing.
Right. Yeah. I got laid off for a little bit. It was collecting unemployment, getting that 600 and stuff. And it's weird because if I didn't save that, my truck broke down on the way to Jordan Jess's wedding there, and it just broke down and it died on the way back, and I had to take the money that I got and actually, instead of having a nest egg, had to go and buy another truck. Sucks, but it's life,
Yeah, we were talking about that with Eric. He said, these people who get the $600 and they were just spending it on stupid shit. What happens? And it's like, you're a perfect example. You were smart about it.
Yeah, well, you gotta be.
So let's go forward a little bit.
Sure.
Been in the music scene for a while. We've played a few shows together.
Oh yeah.
What?
I mean, we're not going to name any names, just like was said in another interview. But the one thing I have to say is those times, those shows, that period of time, we all were able to meet each other. You know what I mean? That's where like we actually like kind of thrived together.
It's basically like, if you know who we're talking about. If you don't know, then fuck off. But
well, it's not fuck off, but it's just like fuck that specific person. I mean,
that's what I meant.
Nothing was never done to me, but like it's not right what he did. It just isn't, and that's all.
Let's move on.
Moving forward.
But I will agree, those times were like extremely fruitful for the scene in Connecticut.
Sure.
A lot of bands were coming in, playing shows, especially at Cherry Street, and it was awesome.
All the time. We had shows every month.
5 bands for $5, shit like that. That was cool as fuck.
Yeah.
But so moving forward, being in the bands and doing what you do, what initially inspired you to sit down and and write poetry and become a lyricist, to become a vocalist? What was it that was like, oh, I can do this?
I just liked writing.
Fair enough.
Growing up, I didn't really have that many friends, just because of my upbringing. Kind of isolated from everyone because it just was what it was, But
I got you.
I spent a lot of time writing and drawing and just growing up, and that's just what I like to do. And then this whole idea of you could do that to sound, and like it can be a thing. And I was like, okay, and then
and you can disperse your energy from that.
Correct, and just getting into music in general. So I started out listening to like Twisted Sister and like the Grateful Dead, all because of my brother. Any music that and a lot of Rolling Stones, a lot of Van Halen, a whole lot of Van Halen. That was like that's my roots. Van Halen's definitely my roots. Sunday Afternoon Walk in the Park is my favorite song by them. Anyway, I don't know. That's pretty much it. I started.
Okay, fair enough.
That's what I did.
So let's go.
I don't claim to be like really good at it, but like it just.
I've always told people, they're like, "Oh, you're a great guitarist. You're good." Blah blah blah. And it's like, no, I'm not. I'm not a good guitarist. They're like, "Oh, how'd you learn how to play guitar?" And I'm like, I don't know how to play guitar. I just know how to make decent sounds out of this instrument. You know?
It's just doing what you can. I never have been given.
Never took a lesson. Yeah.
No, other than the Zen of Screaming DVDs, those fun.
I've never taken a lesson. Everything I was taught was by like friends. I had a friend that I lived with. His name was Joey. Rest in peace, buddy. And he taught me a lot when it came to guitar. I had my other buddy, Richie, another friend who passed away. Rest in peace to him. Excuse me. And they taught me a whole lot of stuff, but it's not like I sat there and like took lessons, Sure. I remember Richie was teaching me how to do pinch harmonics, and I couldn't get it down for the life of me. And then randomly, I want to say it was probably at least a good like 5-6 years later, I'm just playing guitar and I was just like, wow. And I'm like, well, what the fuck was that? And I'm like, wow. And I'm like, what? I got a pinch harmonic, and I'm like, Richie. And I like called him up, and I was like, listen to this, and I fucking flub it. And then I'm like, finally, I'm like, dude, fuck this. I know I did it. And I did it. And he was like, see, it's not as hard as you thought it was. And I was like, I just didn't know what the fuck you needed to do. So, Rolling Stones, Van Halen, you're actually, I want to say, the second person who said something about Van Halen. Like, I'm not going to take anything away from Van Halen. Eddie was a fucking amazing musician. All of those guys were. So Van Halen, I'm just going to ask, are we David Lee Roth era, or are we Sammy Hagar?
Let's see. Really, do we really have to bring it there? I mean, it's all Eddie. Really, if I had to choose a vocalist, it would have to be Lee Roth. It'd have to be Dave.
I was about to say there's only one answer. Like
the guy that was in the middle for like a hot minute. Nobody even like really remembers what his name is. I mean, I'm sure that there's a lot of people watching that are like, oh yeah, it's da da da. I don't know da da da.
Yeah, nobody.
There's only Roth and Hagar,
Yeah, there is definitely only Roth. Was it Gary Sharon?
Yes, it was. See, exactly.
Yeah,
you looked that up, huh?
Yeah, no shit. So okay, well, at least there was a. Like I said, there's only one answer when it comes to who's the best vocalist for Van Halen. Hot for Teacher was like one of those songs. I heard that song and I was just like, yeah, what the fuck? I was just like, holy shit, man, that's cool as fuck. So we got some Van Halen. Now you're in a metal band, so like I can I can't sit here and say that Van Halen is going to be like your main inspiration growing up and whatnot. So you already know where this is going. I'm just going to ask anyway. What are some of your metal influences?
Okay. Well, there's Greg Puciato from Dillinger Escape Plan.
Okay.
He was a major influence. If anybody knows me, it's Mike Patton. Love Mike Patton.
Yeah, you can't say anything bad about Patton.
Oh yeah, you could, but I just don't.
No, you don't. You can't. Fuck
the
them.
guy's got way too many projects,
and that's not that bad.
It's not that bad.
If that's the bad thing that you can say about him, then I mean, like, it's not that bad.
Well, the whole thing is, like, in him having a lot of projects, I'm late to finding out anything of his old stuff. So, like, that's
do your fucking research.
Yeah, pretty much. Let's see here. Acacia Strain, really like the vocals from that. I've been listening to lately. I've been listening to a lot of this band called Sleepy Time Gorilla Museum.
I've heard of them.
They're pretty good. Like, really off kilter. Having melodies that don't make sense make sense. In their whole, like, what they use for instruments is all man-made instruments. Like, they play your regular percussion, guitars, bass, violin, sure, but they actually, like, have other instruments. Like they have an extra percussionist that plays the bottles and, like, trash in the back, and it's pretty gnarly. It's pretty cool. Let's see.
Weird. I'll have to check it out.
They're pretty. They slap. They're pretty good. I like them, at least.
Slap. All right, that's the new cool hip thing, huh?
It is. I don't know. I see a lot of these youngsters say that, so I'm trying to incorporate it. I think I did okay. I don't know. I'll leave that up to the viewers. All right. So I don't know. As far, like, let's just talk about She Walks. We started like 11 years ago, as you know. We've been around for a minute. At first,
sure, just take over, buddy.
Hey, I'm just trying to move things forward, man. Talk about it I don't know. But
you're talking about your influences, and you're just like, "Yep, we're just gonna go right over here."
Yeah, because I don't want to bore people to death about me.
And we got fucking what's his name? And
Greg Puciato.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
Vincent from the Acacia Strain. So, all right. So, all right. Let's do this. Let's move ahead and go with She Walks Without Legs. So, She Walks Without Legs. For me, I met all of you guys during a person who shall be remain nameless
he
show.
Is Satan and the devil.
No, don't give him that credit.
Right. True.
So we ended up meeting. I'm pretty sure it was a Cherry Street show. It's definitely one of the 5 bands for $5 shows. I ended up seeing you guys. You and I shot the shit. That's when you and I basically, I think I found out, because of the way that you hold the microphone, I was like, I know that guy. That was the way that I knew you from the pull-out method time.
I'm a sound guy's nightmare.
So
I never could stop cupping the mic. I don't give a shit.
You, Jordan, Josh was in the band at the time. Eric, Frank and I, like, immediately became like good friends. Like, I love that guy. I don't know a single person that doesn't love Frank. I love all of you guys, actually.
Yeah, man.
I went out to Rhode Island to go see you guys at the FET.
Yeah.
We've played plenty of shows. I played your CD release party, which was fucking awesome. We had Slipknot, the tribute band. That was cool. That was the day that Frank almost died, because Jamie Cross was playing the clown and he had the baseball bat, and Frank came like this fucking close to get clocked by the baseball bat.
Yep.
Not on purpose, but
Fun. Good times.
What are just give me a couple of your favorite memories, show or whatever it is that you have had with She Walks Without Legs.
Wow. Okay. And saying that, you gotta like, we've been like various stages, like with any band that's like been around for years. Like we've had a bunch of different lineups, like it's pretty much me and Frank are really the ones that have been there since the very, very beginning, you know. As far as like times, wow, there's a lot in 11 years, man, that trying to put everything together. Let's see, when we there's the first couple shows that we did, Cherry Street, that used to just be the only place that we would play, mainly because Keith knew he knew Sarah and Scott and everybody, and Dennis and everybody. He knew how to get us shows right out the gate. Like Pull-Out Method pretty much disbanded, and then I've got another band and was on stage within probably like 6 months after that.
Okay. And that lineup was you, Frank, Jordan, and Keith?
No, it was Frank, Keith, Matt Moulton on bass, and me. And then we added on I had a second guitar, Tyler Musshorn, who I met through another band that I was kind of messing around doing. We were just like a cover band, just jamming out. My buddy Phil, who drummed for that band, knew Tyler Musshorn, and he joined up with us for a little bit, and then things just happened. Tyler got married or something happened. He had to leave, and then Eric joined. I knew Eric because I worked at McDonald's for a decent amount of time. He came in and he was always talking about his band, and they were doing stuff, and I'm like, yeah, we should do something sometime. And
he said in the interview I did with him, he goes, how many strings do you play? And he goes, 7.
Yeah.
And you're like, he goes, I was actually going in to ask if they needed a bass player or some shit like that.
Well, yeah, because I was we were trying out his friend TJ for guitar, and TJ never came down.
Oh,
he never came down to practice. There's a couple of people that didn't come down, but it's cool. Shit happens. There's this one guy where I was gonna try out for drums in the very beginning, and he ended up going to jail for armed robbery.
Yeah, it's good that he didn't end up joining anyways, right?
Yeah, but he was really good. Like when we first started, me and Wes Renaud, I went over to his house and recorded all the guitars, drums, everything. It's all computer stuff. But I would just hand it out to people like, hey, can you play this? You want to be in a band? You know? And that's how it all started. And this guy, Jake, I'll just name his first name. He took it. Like a month later, I went over his house and he had everything down. And then a month later, he ends up going to jail for armed robbery.
That's shitty, man.
Shit happens, man. Shit happens. Yeah, moving forward after Tyler, we got Eric. And then we were without Matt for a little bit, and picked up Jordan through Eric, but like Eric had him come to a Cherry Street show, and we were talking, and I handed Jordan a ticket. I'm like, here, come to our next show. So he did, and we talked, and Eric was kind of talking him up like, hey, he's a pretty decent guitar player. We should try him out. We didn't need another guitar player. We needed a bass player. So I asked him, and he was like, okay, I play guitar, but you want me to play bass? Okay, sure, why not?
What's the difference, right? Except for the fact that
There
there's less
is.
strings.
There's a big difference. Being in a band that has been without bass for a while, you actually recognize what's not there.
Right.
Yeah. Because it's, drums and guitar, yeah, and there's a lot of bass that gets covered if you're playing in 7, 8 string guitars, but like the bass is like the meat of the band.
Mike Titus.
It is, it really is. But we've been trying some people out. There's somebody that we've been working with. He's been mainly doing our live streams and stuff like that. Buddy, he was actually the bass player in the band I was in, Pull Out Method. He's been doing our live streams, and he comes over with his gear and stuff. And we're actually probably going to be recording with him, hopefully, our next venture of recording, whether it ends up being one whole thing or broken down into 2 EPs, or by the time it's done, an album and 2 EPs, or an album and an EP, or however it ends up working out. We have a shit ton of new material now. We've been getting together when we can during this whole pandemic thing. Yeah, that's Pull Out Method right there.
Yeah. Which one is you? I can't even tell.
I am that one right there.
Yep, that's what I thought. Holy shit, you had the little fucking chin ball strap, whatever it is.
Well, yeah, I couldn't have any facial hair because I was a fucking manager at McDonald's. So I had to keep the patch, man. It's the only thing I could have. That and my sideburns.
Your little soul patch going on there.
Little soul patch. Little fucking ball tickler.
Yeah, right. So
yeah.
What were some of your favorite shows were? What?
Okay, getting back.
Yeah, you completely went over here, and I just.
Isn't that what this is all about? Just us talking and basically getting.
But we gotta kind of stay on topic here, bro.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm doing better than Eric.
Dude, Eric was like Mega Man this, and he was like ADHD here, shiny thing here, ooh, fire there, swing here. I was like, holy shit, dude! Dude. So before we go further, I kind of want to share something. My favorite moment with you guys, with She Walks Without Legs, actually happened with Eric, and I'm going to share this right now because I didn't get to share it on Eric's thing, and I'm sorry that I'm doing it on yours.
Cool. No, don't need to apologize. Oh yeah.
This right here, that's my bald head right there.
Yep.
Holding up. I'm saying it's a Captain and Coke while Eric is playing guitar, and that was probably
so much good photo work for those shows too. Like I miss her work.
I miss Angie as well. I haven't heard from her since I think she moved. She moved up to Massachusetts. I think. I'm not sure. I'll have to reach out to her. Maybe I'll try and get her on here and see some of her favorite moments.
Cool.
So, I mean, this isn't strictly just music, but it's music based. So, favorite shows. Let's go. Let's get two of them.
Favorite shows. All right. So we were involved in the Metal Olympics up in Western Mass because a Grand Russian, he put up an ad on Facebook for bands. I guess he was doing this for a couple of years before we jumped in on the action, and we weren't really getting any attention in Connecticut, so we moved more or less our attention to Massachusetts and Vermont and stuff, and we were involved in, I guess, looking back on flyers, there's a whole bunch of other bands that did the same thing. Like the Aberration did the Metal Olympics. A whole bunch of it. Left Hand Backwards. They did a whole bunch of stuff. And like I remember meeting up with Paul at a Guar show over at Toad's. It was either Toad's place or it was at the Palladium. And we're talking outside, and I'm like, yeah, my band, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, well, my band, blah, 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 blah. And we're like, oh, well, what band? It's like, dude, I played with you over at Miller's Rod and Gun Club. We're like, oh, shit. All right, cool. So those shows were really good. The Graham Russian and Ron Dog shows were really good. We had a lot of good shows at the Webster. The singer and drummer of Kitty actually gave us some recognition. They got an interview for their new band White Swan, and they were talking about us. I guess this is what a friend told me, so I didn't actually hear the audio. He said that they mentioned us in Webster Underground, that show that we played. They said that, well, what if there's any bands that like you feel have like kind of like outstaged, so to speak, and they mentioned us, and it was kind of flattering. Let's see, and that's back good 6-7 years ago.
I never even heard of White Swan.
White Swan, it's members of Kitty, kind of a
It's the White Swans.
Okay.
And Mercedes is the drums. She's the vocalist, and she does guitars and keyboards.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's pretty dope. Okay, so moving forward, let's see here. Whole lot of Cherry Street shows, man. Like so many that they kind of just mush into each other, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I can understand that. I feel like I feel like and nothing against Cherry Street at all, and I'll always love Cherry Street, always love the people that work there, and have the utmost respect for them. I think one of the biggest problems with the scene, in my opinion, was the fact that bands were consistently playing the same venue or within the same, within 10 miles or 50.
Sure, with the same bands.
Yeah, exactly. And it started to water down what was going on. It's like Left Hand Backwards. Love the guys. I was the bass player of that band as well.
Yeah, man.
But it's like Left Hand Backwards would love to play with One Ton Tommy Gun or She Walks Without Legs at every single show. It's like, yeah, I want to play with those bands too, but you gotta play with other bands so that you don't want to be playing in front of the same people. You know, especially if you're trying to get the band to further itself. So love Cherry Street. Can't wait. And hopefully we can get back there. You know,
I imagine that's definitely going to happen. We've already, people have reached out to us, you know, hopefully like as soon as this bullshit's over, you know, hopefully this summer, maybe sometime, maybe even spring, you know, we'll be up and running. Hopefully people aren't too scared to get vaccinated or whatever. I know I'm not. I miss everybody. You know, I want to be able to go out and have a life again.
Yeah, you know? One of the biggest things that I miss outside of music is baseball. And I was supposed to go to like a bunch of games last year, and I'm just like, fuck. You know, like I was supposed to travel. And this
like all the shows we were supposed to play that got canceled, like with a lot of really good bands. Like Ryan Early booked a couple shows with us, and they all got canceled because of stupid COVID. And we've played ever since then. We played over at the Cellar on Treadwell. That entire show is actually on YouTube if you wanted to check it out. There's a sold out show, and I think there was only like 20 people there because of COVID restrictions and whatever. Yeah, exactly. And I had to like.
You had to have a mask on.
Oh, the first song that we did, it's pretty much almost all new stuff that we played. The first song I had a bandana on my face But like at the end of the song, I'm just like, fuck this. I'm outside. I'm not even anywhere near anybody.
Right.
But like with live streams, we're streaming from our practice spot since we're like enclosed with everybody. It's I try to wear a mask on my face, just be courteous and stuff towards the other guys, even though I don't know, I haven't had it. I've had 2 scares, during this whole thing. When I got tested, got swabbed. The first time they went, I think, too deep, and they didn't make any eye contact with me.
They got some brain matter.
Hey, I feel like if they're gonna go in that deep, like they should at least make eye contact. Look at me while you're torturing me.
Look at me while you're fucking my skull.
But it's not that bad. But found out that I didn't have it at all either time. By finding out that I had hung out with people that actually had it, and luckily enough they didn't. They they're better. This whole thing sucks.
Yeah, it definitely does suck. I've had to deal with it. I've had a couple scares. I had a guy at work that ended up having it, and I had to go get tested right away. And then my stepmother was exposed by somebody that she worked with, and the day she found out was the day after I went over to the house. I hugged her, I kissed her, and everything. And I was like, well, fuck me, So, but luckily I came back. I was negative. And the other cool thing is like, Ashley, my girlfriend, she's been, she works in a nursing home, and she has been working her ass off every day, overtime. I'm so proud of her, of everything that she's been doing. And
and all those people that are out there doing this shit, man, putting their own fucking lives at risk,
It's like they had the whole COVID scare where she worked, and she never came down with it. And I was so and when I got exposed to it, I didn't care if I got it. If I got it, it is what it is. I have vacation time and PTO and stuff like that I could use.
It's not funny that you say that, because like when I first got tested, when I first had to get tested, it was 2 days before I went on vacation. So like this entire vacay, I'm like wondering if I fucking have it, waiting on my results. But I didn't know that like if you have it, they call you right away. If you don't have it, you have to like fight tooth and nail in order to get a result.
Right. So what I was trying to say is that I didn't care. Like if I got it, that is what it is. But I didn't want to expose Ashley to it, so that if she ended up getting it, she would bring it to work. That was the only thing that concerned me. Is like I didn't want these other people that she worked with, like these older people. So
same. It's like me bringing it home to the lady and kids. Like she's like hardcore asthmatic. You know what I mean? Like even like cleaning up dust is a big thing. And I had to actually like leave work.
Just an excuse.
I had to put myself back on fucking furlough because like in my job, I'm a delivery guy, and I go to like all these different places every day. I wear a mask. There's no need to bitch about it. You protect yourself and you're protecting others, whatever. Plus I have type O blood, so I might be asymptomatic.
Stop it. But hopefully soon this whole bullshit will end. If it doesn't by 2021, hopefully by 2022 we'll be able to get back together. I don't want to go a whole another year without music, sports, and shit like that.
I'll make underground fucking shows, brother, and we'll be live streaming from wherever, if that's what it fucking takes. I'm serious. I thought about doing another Shred Fest at CT Bike, maybe this summer if this thing isn't fucking calmed down by then. I'm saying like we could just stream from CT Bike. I haven't talked to Maria or these guys yet, but it's an idea.
So CT Bike, if you're listening, this is gonna happen with or without you. So obviously talked about COVID, talked about pull-out method, talked about some of your interest with the whole like your
Talk about
industrial
side projects.
Yeah,
I got Rat Skulls. Everybody that's like doing music has got something that they've been working on during this whole thing. You're in hiding. You're by yourself. You got your own side work. I got this one project with Dan that we have a 3-track EP that's actually on the Echopod Media site. It's called Rat Skulls. It's kind of like a blend of like, as far as sound goes, like what it sounds like. It sounds kind of like Typo Negative meets the Misfits type thing. Just to do something different. I never like sang like just like low stuff. It's usually just regular singing, but I tried to go in that direction just to have that kind of in a resume, I guess. Like, I don't know. Another thing is me and my friend JT, we had this hip hop project we worked on like over 20 years ago. And we're probably going to be bringing some of those songs back, like kind of how we envision them to begin with, instead of just laying the verses down and whatever on just any old beat. We already had like these ideas for these songs, and I'm going back and like making the beats so that we could kind of like re-put them out there. It was called ATD. Altered and Totally Different. We were fucking stupid kids. Just trying to come up with weird stuff.
My very first like band, it wasn't even a band. It was just like a bunch of friends of mine, and we were like, "Oh, you're gonna play guitar. You're gonna play bass. You're gonna play drums.
Right.
I'm gonna be the vocalist. You're gonna do this." We had a band called Autotoxin. We
it's
never.
Like that with me and Keith.
We never had a practice. I didn't have an instrument, and one of the guys, and basically our drummer never played drums. All he ever did was he played air drums all the time, and he always tapped his pencil on the desk. So we were like, "You're going to be the drummer, and this guy's going to be the bassist, and he's going to be the guitarist, and that guy's going to be the other guitarist." So it was.
There's a project I had like that too with Eric Denote and Ryan Smith. We call ourselves Tear Spiral. And like that never got off the ground. We couldn't find a drummer. Which was weird because like that's when I ran into Keith was then, and then like things actually like started taking the steps up from there. Thanks to Keith. Thank you, Keith.
If you listen to this, Keith, thank you. So
I'm sure he'll listen at some point.
We're going to end up having this on Spotify. I'm hoping. I'm right in the process of distributing it through Anchor, which is a free site for me to upload I take this as an MP3 format, and then I post it up there so that you can listen to it instead of watching the video. The video is awesome as hell. I mean, I've had fun doing it. I had who did I have? I had Trav. Trav was fucking hilarious, dude. Yeah. So good to see him. I'm glad that he's doing good.
I dude to death, man.
So speaking of Travis, we're gonna bring up the tour.
I was gonna beat him to it.
I was told there was an instance where you two were looking for the van, and he was like, "Get away from me!" And you were like, "Dude, I'm just trying to find the van." And also. Before you start talking, getting into that, didn't mean to say it like that, but before you start getting into that, also, while we're on that subject, I want to know about the red wine incident.
The red wine incident?
Yes, the red wine incident in the van.
Whoa. This is news to me.
So maybe
I don't think I was there for that.
So from my understanding, Travis said that Eric was the one who spilled red wine in the van. And so obviously we're not going to get an opinion on that. And then I talked to Eric about it. And Eric said that it was Josh's fault. And then Trav came on and he said that it's always going to be Eric's fault.
It is always going to be Eric's fault.
So let's talk about that time that you and Travis almost fought each other.
Oh boy, really? Okay.
Yes, we're gonna talk about that. We have to because of the fact
Why
that
do we have to? That dude, drama.
It's
Bringing
good
out the drama
content.
llama, dude. Come on.
Not
All right.
drama. You both have beautiful girlfriends. You both have your own lives now. You don't have to worry about that bullshit anymore. You're both
We
good
both
friends.
found out we're both really good friends. We're practically brothers. I fucking
Right.
love the hell out of fucking Travis. Yeah, we both found out that we were both kind of seeing the same chick.
It always happens to be a chick problem when it comes down to guys wanting to fight each other.
Yeah, and then you figure out that it's not worth it, because if she's going to do that to both of us, then there's obviously going to be more,
Right. So, what
Yeah.
what happened? Like, what was the incident where you guys were walking and whatnot? I heard his side. I want to hear yours.
Things are so jarbled. I'm so fucking burnt. I did way too many drugs growing up.
Don't do drugs.
Maybe on that tour. Anyway. Fuck. Yeah, so I was talking to this girl. We actually were playing a show. I believe it was at the Riff House in West
Virginia.
West Virginia, yeah. And we played with the Machinist. Plug that band. Those guys are fucking awesome. Amanda July has got fucking a demon voice. She's amazing. Anyway, the Machinist, yeah, really good band, really good deathcore, really good. She makes my low vocals, seem like fucking bird shit. I'll say it. It's honest. But anyway, yeah. So I was on the phone with this girl that I'll just say we were seeing each other because, wow, man. Okay. And my phone died, and she called up Travis looking for me. And Trav's like, well, why would you be calling him up on my phone? And then there's probably more to it, but we were like on our way. Like I was looking for Trav. Jordan and I had spent the night in the van while these guys were in, I think whoever we played the show with, we stayed at their house, but Jordan and I stayed in the van. Everybody else stayed in this person's apartment. And then in the morning, I really don't remember what led up to it, but like we're looking for the van and he's just pissed. And I just remember just being like, fuck, is the tour over? Like, is this the end all? Is it like, did like I inadvertently fuck things up because of some scene chick? I don't know.
Right. Well, it's good. It's good that everything ended up working itself out and whatnot.
Yeah, we talked and we straightened things out. We straightened things out, and we went forward. Act professional.
Yeah, and now you guys are like best friends. It's good, and honestly, I consider you guys like really good friends for me. I love you, Trav, and everybody I've actually have been talking to this past couple of days, and it's real cool that every one of you have been like, I've reached out to you and you all were just like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do this, because basically what this does is this gets kind of an outlet out for you guys and, for me as well. And it gets to let people know that, hey, there's shit going on. We're going to be back. We're not dying.
We're far from done.
So, we're going to end up ending the show in a moment, but I got to ask, do you have anything that you want to plug? You want anybody to check out? Go ahead and do that now.
Shit.
Well, your band for one. Let's talk about
Yeah,
plug.
check out She Walks Without Legs. We're on multiple platforms. We're on,
Actually,
we're on
hold on.
Facebook. We're on.
1 second.
Huh?
I should have asked this at the beginning, and I don't know why I didn't.
Okay.
How did you come up with the name She Walks Without Legs?
Okay, here we go. Yeah, that's a valid question. Well, it was the last show that Pullout Method played, and I was having a conversation with my brother, and we're both still dealing with my sister passing. And the name came from my sister. She passed away. She was born paralyzed with spinal bifida from the waist down, and the whole idea was just keeping something alive, and just came up with the name She Walks Without Legs. Like, she was born paralyzed from the waist down, and now she walks without legs, and she passed away. And now it's like you could really think of anything to blend with that. Like, people concoct the weirdest meanings to that name. But you can. What I'm thinking of now, as far as a meaning to the band, is it's gonna happen with or without. Like, it's gonna happen anyway. It's pretty much an unstoppable force. And she walks without legs. Also, like, how do you do something without doing it? I ask you, Brad. How do you do something without doing it?
Well, you crawl, kind of, I guess.
You think about it.
Yeah, she walks without legs. There's been so many different names to go with that. When
And
you
she
told me
cooks without eggs, I know that's your favorite one.
Yeah, I remember when you told me that story for the first time, and I was just like, well, I'm gonna stop saying that because that seems like a dickhead thing to say now. But
it's just like the music. It's up for interpretation. It's really up for suggestion. You let the listener come up with their own meaning to appreciate it.
Great band. I love you guys. Every guy in the band. You guys need a bassist. I'm hoping that everything works out with you guys and this new guy.
Yeah.
Amber, I know you're in the background. Love you. And where are the kids? I didn't hear the kids at all. Are they down for a nap?
They're sleeping.
Wow.
They're down.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Someday soon I have to come by and see them. I haven't seen you guys in a while. Wish you guys all the best of luck with everything that's going on. She Walks Without Legs. Go check them out on Facebook. After this episode, I will be posting up a song by She Walks Without Legs. So please listen to it. The song's called Teach Me, right? I was about to say teach you. And
teach us all.
Yeah, it will teach me. And does the song I'm gonna go ahead. I'm going to get it off of YouTube, and does it have the I can't tie my shoes, but I can fuck your bitch on it?
Pretty sure, yeah.
Well, I'm going to end up putting that one up. So, guys, take a listen to it. Check out She Walks Without Legs. She Cooks Without Eggs on Facebook, Spotify. Are you guys on Pandora?
Yes, we are.
Apple.
We're on Google, too.
So you can find them on all the platforms. Definitely check them out. Good guys, good band. Aaron, thank you so much for coming on and sitting down with me.
Man.
Everybody else, have a good one. Aaron, don't leave.
Okay.